Good day, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, and thank you for joining. My name's Joe Wetstead. I'm the Director of Client Success, and I'm joined today by Chris Waldman, Senior Client Services Manager at accesso Showare. Before we get started, I'd like to go over a few housekeeping items so you know what to expect and how to participate in today's session. You may have already noticed that your voices have been muted. They will remain muted throughout the session. However, you will be able to type questions to our moderator throughout the webinar. Then at the end of the session, there'll be a Q&A taken from your typed questions. So let's go ahead and get started. At accesso, we believe technology has the power to redefine the guest experience. Everything we do starts with thinking about the guest experience first, which allows us to help simplify operations, improve guest satisfaction, and drive growth for our clients. accesso has a suite of solutions that service ticketing and data management, from queuing products to ticketing and point of sale software, to distribution channels, to marketing and personalization of the guest experience. Our solutions help solve problems and enhance the guest experience at every touch point during the journey. Our approach is to let our clients focus on what they do best, which is provide outstanding guest experiences, while we provide the technology to support those efforts. We think about these solutions in 4 different sets. The first is accesso Low Queue, which provides virtual queuing solutions to attractions around the globe. The second category is ticketing. This includes our accesso Showare solution, which is fully hosted box office and online ticketing solution. And that's where we'll be focusing our attention today. Also our robust Seriousware point of sale solutions and our accesso Passport e-commerce platform. Our third category is distribution. About a year ago, we acquired a company called Ingresso, which is essentially a global distribution system for venues, which is simplifying voucher sales and increasing distribution and reach. And finally, our newest product, the Experience Engine, or TE2, helps marketers utilize guest data to deliver more personalized interactions. Excuse me. Together, they've become the accesso ecosystem, going far beyond what a single unit ever could and continuing to complement one another. From theme parks to performing arts, zoos to festivals, our products and services support attractions around the globe. Whether it be food and beverage point of sale, virtual line reservations, ticketing, or guest management, our solutions help streamline and simplify operations for a wide variety of venues. To accomplish this, accesso focuses on research and development, and it's a major point of differentiation for our products. In 2017, accesso was able to invest over $20 million back into R&D across its platforms, and that's a nice bump from the previous year. Honestly, it's equivalent to some of our competitors' entire annual revenues. We invest heavily in our products because our industry demands it, because our clients benefit from it, and because it makes a positive difference in the guest journey. Innovation is core to our business and our partnerships, and it's part of our commitment to clients that our software continue to evolve to meet new demands. So let's shift our focus to our accesso Showare product specifically, and the tools available to you to build powerful and revenue-driving seat maps. That's why we're all here today. Building seat maps may seem tedious at times, but at accesso, we've recently upgraded our map building tools to make the process as easy as possible for you. Today, we'll take a look at creating seat maps, how you can easily edit those maps, and how crafting your map well by valuing premium seats and availability can lead to increased sales and profitability. Remember, your seat map is your store. And I think we all agree that a well-merchandised store makes consumers feel comfortable, builds trust, and it will increase sales. Chris is going to provide a valuable overview of the seat map tools in accesso Showare that, used well, can help you present a well-organized shopping experience for your patrons and guests. From seat map images to stage or field indicators, a well-designed seat map will result in more online conversions. And with that, I'm going to hand things over to Chris. Chris?
Thank you, Joe, and welcome to everybody joining us on the line today. We're going to get right into things with our seat maps here, and we're going to start with the two different types of seat maps. There are, of course, two types of seat maps that can be created using Showare, our basic general admission seat maps or our reserved seat maps. GA maps or general admission maps are quick and easy to build and allow you to sell a set number of admission tickets where no specific seating location is required. They can be single section GA maps, or you can actually build general admission maps with multiple sections as well. Reserved maps may take a little bit longer to put together, but they do offer your patrons the ability to select the exact seat they want at the time of purchase. There are other great benefits to reserved maps as well, and we're going to get into those during today's presentation. Starting back with general admission maps, though, building a GA seat map in Showare is really as simple as can be. Your first step is going to simply be to create your venue by naming it and entering the corresponding address. Next, you'll select that venue you just created and choose to create a new general admission map for it. All that's left at this point is to name your map and input the total number of tickets you want to sell, and you're all set. We do also allow users to create maps with multiple GA sections. For instance, you might have a VIP general admission area that's closer to the stage and a standard GA area behind it. This is also a great tool for driving that ticket revenue and pushing your patrons into those higher price seats. Now that we've looked at GA maps, let's take a look at our reserved maps. It's important to have gathered a few key pieces of information before starting to build a reserved map. First, you want to make sure that you have an up-to-date and accurate manifest for your seating area. This means a total number of seats by sections and a clear display of row and seat numbers. This is a vital tool when moving forward. You'll also want to have your map image uploaded via our image management tool. And lastly, you'll want to consider your pricing strategy before building the map, and that's something I'm going to get back to shortly. As far as map images go, here's a couple of good examples of seat map images I referred to on the previous slide. These images are clear representations of seating areas for these two different venues. On the first one, we can see that they have their ADA accessible seats clearly labeled, and the map coloring is reflective of the different price categories that are available to patrons. Our next map image offers that same pricing by color, where it's very easy to identify the price category by the color selected. They've also done an awesome job of labeling their map with the performance name, date, time. It's clear to see where the general admission is versus the reserved. And this is actually a map for an entire arena seating bowl. So they've done a great job of pinpointing the seating locations and making it clear for their folks to see what's available and what's not. Now that we have our map image ready to go, let's talk about the importance of price categories. Using price categories to your advantage can not only lead to more sales, but also increased revenue per seat. Let's imagine a traditional theater in the past that may have offered orchestra, mezzanine, and balcony seating, each operating as its own price category within the theater. Many of today's venues, however, recognize that their consumers' demand for premium seats and is going up, and their pricing rows within the same section at different price levels to really maximize that income on the best seats in the house. Orchestra sections can stretch back dozens and dozens of rows, but by pricing your rows closest to the stage at a premium or VIP level, you'll not only increase the revenue per seat within your section, but also the demand, as ticket buyers will recognize the importance of buying early to guarantee themselves the best seats. It's certainly not uncommon for a venue to have 4 or more different price categories active and working within the same section of seats. Now that we've talked about price categories, let's also talk about the best practices for managing our inventory. Your venue can really see increased sales of harder to sell seats by properly managing your available inventory, especially during the initial on sale. A popular example of this is the difficulty that can come in selling the first and last rows of a price break. Imagine rows 1 through 10 of your venue are priced at $80, rows 11 through 20 are $60, and rows 21 through 30 are $40. It's not hard to see that patrons will bypass row 10 at $80 in favor of row 11 and save themselves $20 per seat. A handy tool to prevent this would be using our seat allocations to block off specific seats or even entire rows during your initial on sale. Once the show is up and selling and you've filled up most of rows, say 1 through 7 and 14 through 20, you could open up rows 8 through 13 where that price break exists and not have to worry about people bypassing those seats during the initial sale. I'd like to get into some of our new and improved seat map features now. We've got brand new editability for our completed maps. So gone are the days of having to create a brand new map from scratch after you maybe realize you made one mistake or mislabeled one seat. Our new seat map tools allow for full editability section by section, removing the need to build a new map. During the initial build, you can also save each section by section as you build it, which would eliminate any loss of work from possibly a disconnected network or a system timeout. Our map tools now allow you to assign entry points for each seat on the map. If section 100 needs to enter through gate H, for example, you can clearly print that on their tickets and then set them up to come to the right entrance when they arrive at your venue. Our dinner theater clients can rest easy now with our new color-coded seating manifest report as well. This is a great tool for managing large groups or easily identifying where your members are sitting. Our special seating tools make it a breeze to clearly mark seats that may be reserved for ADA or possibly an obstructed view, and our new mapping tool makes drawing your coordinates easier than ever. I want to go back into special seating. As we mentioned on the previous slide, special seating can be used to identify seats that may have an obstructed view or another necessary distinction. The most important use case for this tool, though, is identifying your ADA seating. ADA accessible seating is required by law in most instances, and Showare makes it easy to manage that inventory both online and in the box office. You can actually sell your handicap or ADA accessible seats online, as our purchasers must agree to a legally binding waiver attesting to their need for ADA seating before they can complete their purchase. Now that we've covered those, let's jump into a few seat map features that you may have missed. First is our Orphan seat prevention. We all know how hard it is to sell a single ticket left in a row. With the click of a button, the Showare system will do everything possible to prevent sales that leave a single seat from happening, as long as there is another seat available. As you can see, your patrons will get a friendly message that says that we are unable to reserve these seats for you because this would leave a single empty seat. Please select seats without a gap that can best accommodate your purchase. Again, as long as it's possible to put the patron to other seats, we will use this Orphan seating tool to prevent those single seats from being left. Another great tool is our section images. Section images are designed to give your patrons a clear view of what it looks like to sit in the seats that they're planning to purchase. These images can actually be uploaded section by section, so you can have a different section image for every section in your venue and clearly show the patrons what it'll be like to experience the stage from those seats before they purchase. And lastly, I'd like to show off our new seating manifest report. This is a color-coded seating manifest that allows you to assign a color to each price code in your system that will be represented on the manifest of your venue. It's a great tool for dinner theaters, venues with different types of group sales that need to be identified, or you could identify your members and VIP guests with color-coded price codes. These colors will only appear in the back-end box office view and do not appear to your patrons on the front end of the website. And that's going to bring us into the live demo portion of our presentation today. So I'd like to jump into the site here and go over a few things that we just looked at in the presentation. First one is going to be just, again, how simple it is to actually create a general admission seat map. Once I'm logged into Showare, I can come back to System Configuration and Venues and Seat Maps, and I can simply click on New GA Seat Map. Assuming my venue already exists, I'll simply pick it from the drop-down menu here. Maybe I need to add an SRO section or some additional seats to my numbering, so that's why I'm making a new version of the map. I can change my price category name from general admission to anything else I'd like, or I can leave it as GA. All I need to do now is just update the number of seats that I want to sell and click on Finish Seat Map. And as simple as that, I've created a brand new general admission seat map. I'd love to also show off some of those editability tools that we were talking about. So I'm going to go into one of my existing reserved seat maps that actually has some general admission sections in it as well. And when I click on Edit, I'll get a clear view of all the options of editability that now exist for me. The first thing you'll notice at the top of the screen is the system is warning you that this seat map has one or more performances associated with it already. That means this existing seat map is being used on a performance that's currently for sale. And we're just warning you that any edits you make to the seat map here on the system level will not affect seating in those performances, but will affect future performances. This is just to guarantee that no mistakes get made and seats accidentally get updated on the system level and then inadvertently updated within an existing performance, which could cause issues for your patrons moving forward. So always keep that in mind. Edits made to seat maps on the system level will not be reflected on the current map that's being used within performances already. Some of the things we can edit though here on the system level, within our seat map settings, we can easily come in and change our image if we need to, redraw coordinates as needed, even rename the map if we'd like. We have a full editability of our price categories here. So we can change our category names, we can change our colors, we can add a new price category if needed, or we can actually remove unused price categories that are no longer needed on this version of the map. And then we also have the ability again to assign entry points, as I mentioned earlier during the presentation. To create an entry point, all I need to do is click on Set Entry Points here, hit Create New Entry Point, and let's say I need people to enter through gate 100 now. Once I've saved that name, I can go ahead and apply it to any of my reserved sections that I would like to. Some of the editability that exists within the completed sections here, within the general admission section, again, we're going to get a warning that the map has performances associated with it, again, just to make sure that everyone has seen those warnings and don't move forward thinking that they're going to make changes to the map on the performance level. Within a GA section, though, I can change my number of seats, I can change my price category, I can change my entry point if I need to, and I can change my quick pick priority and section image if I'd like to set one. After I save that, I can jump into one of my reserved sections and make edits as well. So if I look at the settings on my reserved section here, I can easily adjust my name, my number of seats, what seating type it is, if I needed to move from GA to reserved or vice versa. I can change the number of rows, row length, quick pick priority, and again, add a section image if I want to. If I have table seating and I perhaps change from allowing individual tickets to be purchased and I want to force folks to purchase the entire table together, I can always enable that option as well. A few other things we can change while we're here in the map editing tool. We can update our seat numbers. Maybe I mislabeled a seat or a row incorrectly. I can update that easily here. I can also identify my aisle seats, set my allocations like we discussed with our pricing strategy, where we may want to block some rows off as not available during the initial on sale. I'm able to update my price categories and also my special seating and entry points. Just to give you a view of how easy it is to set those special seating sections and entry points. Once you've built your special seating categories, you can simply come in here, click on which seats you'd like to identify on the map, choose those seats, and then update your special seating. If I'd like to add in some companion seats next to those, I'll simply click that next, select the 4 companion seats, and update special seating again. And lastly, entry points here. Let's say we need gate 100 rather than the identifier for number 2 is gate A. We can simply click on 100 and select that whole row. It'll change to our new identifier of 4, which represents gate 100, and now my people in row B will clearly know I need to enter in through gate 100 when I arrive at the venue today. So those are just some of the quick and easy tools that now exist for editing your seat maps once they're created. And I hope that gave everybody a nice clean view of how easy and simple it is to make those changes. And that will bring us to the end of our presentation. I think I saw some questions had come in during that time. Do we have any questions to answer today?
Hi, Chris. Yes, we do have a couple of questions. I'm going to start with this one. How do you copy a seat map?
Sure, copying a seat map. Let me actually jump back into the site so I can give you a nice clear view of how that'll work. So copying a seat map is actually its own little tab right here. Once I'm within venues and seat maps, I can click on copy a seat map. First, I'll select my venue again, so I'm pulling the right map. Once I've selected my venue, my new dropdown will contain all the seat maps that exist for that venue. I'll simply pick out the one that I want to copy, give it a new name, I can add a comment here, which again will be for internal use only. So this will just be something your internal team of back-end users would see so they can easily identify which map they need to choose. And then once I click continue, Showare will ask, are you sure you'd like to copy this map? Yes, we are. And as easy as that, I have a copied version of my seat map, which I can make all the changes I need to. They won't affect my original map, just the new version of it. And now I'll have two distinct versions of this map with the settings I need in place for each one.
Perfect. Thank you, Chris. Okay, our next question is there a way to give a lower price based on obstructed view special seats, or would this need to be a separate price category?
So just marking your seat as an obstructed view won't change the price of it. What you would want to do is have a different price category available to label that seat with the reduced price category and then move forward with your map creation. So you were right on point with using a separate price category for that lower rate.
Great. Okay. Our next question is it possible to add a catwalk into the seat map?
A catwalk? Sure, we could. I mean, the catwalk would just have to be represented on your image, assuming that they're seating or you allow for people to stand on the catwalk at your venue. It would just be built in as its own section with the proper available number of seats in it.
Okay, great. We will see if this person has a follow-up. And in the meantime, we do have another question. Is there a way to assign orphan seat prevention by event or performance, or is that only at the system level?
It is a system level setting, so it's kind of all or nothing. It's either going to apply to everything or nothing. If you had an instance where you had a performance going on sale where you didn't want the orphan seat prevention enabled, it might make sense to turn it off on the system level, at least during your initial on sale for that performance. And once some seats have sold, you can turn it back on and it'll apply to everything again. But that would be the only way to manage it.
Okay, thank you. Our next question is, can you build a seat map for me?
Sure. Well, if it's me, I actually like building seat maps, but as far as Showare goes, we can certainly build seat maps for our clients. That is considered a custom development, so it would come with a quoted fee based on the length of time that it'll take us to build the map for you, but we definitely do build maps for clients all the time. Maybe they don't have enough time to get them done themselves, and we're always happy to do that and help out.
Great. Okay, and it looks like we have one last question. Can I edit a seat map once performance sales have started?
You can to a certain degree. So let me jump into a performance here and show you what can be edited on the map within the performance itself. It's a far fewer options than what exists on the system level, but there are some things that you can luckily still edit and make changes to as needed. So once we open an existing performance, if we jump to our seat map tab, the things we would be able to change, we could edit our image and coordinates. This map doesn't actually have an image associated with it, but if we wanted to, we could add that image here by finding it in our dropdown. If we had already loaded it up via image management, we could pick our map image here, and then we would have that map available, and we could start drawing coordinates around it if we needed to. A couple other things you can edit here, your price category names, if you needed to, could be adjusted, as well as your quick pick, ranking, and priority, and you can also add those section images in here as well. Beyond that, there's really not much you can edit on the performance level with the map after the performance has already gone on sale.
All right, thank you, Chris, for showing that to us and for clarifying. And thank you, Joe, for joining us as well. And thank you, everyone, for attending today's webinar, Seat Mapping Your Way to Success. If you have any questions, any other questions about today's presentation, or if you'd like to learn more about our accesso Showare solution, please email sales@accesso.com. You will also receive a follow-up email tomorrow with a link to view today's recording for your reference. On behalf of Chris, Joe, and Accesso, thank you again for joining us and enjoy the rest of your day.